Hey guys, it is time for another soul chat. Like, I have not had a soul chat with you guys in so long, and a lot has happened since the last time I've had a soul chat with you guys. Life has been crazy, a lot of new transitions, a new chapter beginning, and I just need to pour out my heart to you guys as I'm navigating through this new season. I hope you have whatever glass you want to have. It could be tea, water, wine, juice, whatever. We're going to sip on something as we are getting into today's chat. So if you've been there with me from the beginning, you probably remember that my first video was about, the beauty of letting go and how there is beauty in loss and how you can find beauty even in loss. You can find purpose in loss and moving on from something. So now you're talking about over 2 years later, and I feel like God was putting that same message on my heart, but in a different way to bring to you guys. I'm in a season right now where I truly didn't want to let go of this particular thing, and the fact that I have to let go of it to move on into the person that I'm created to be is really new for me. It's really tough for me. And I know that there's a lot of you going through that right now. At the beginning of the year, you probably saw yourself being with that specific person forever. You probably saw yourself being in that specific career forever. You saw yourself being in your field right out of college. You probably saw yourself having a child by now, being a mom by now, having the business by now, having the financial freedom that you've always wanted to have. And a lot of us have these expectations of where we thought we would be. And so today's soul chat is just going to be about letting go the expectations of where you thought you would be and focus on becoming exactly who you're supposed to be. And I believe that that is going to really resonate with somebody, because even thinking about Bishop Fernandez's message just this past Sunday, pretty much one of the laws of transition, as I'm transitioning, was accepting what I can't control and learning from that and embracing that I'm learning from what I can't control. And so I really meditated on that, because a lot of us try to control a lot of things. We try to control a lot of narratives. We want to be at a specific place at this age. And a lot of times when we think about the age that we're turning, like I'm about to be 31 in less than 2 weeks. And when I think about like me turning 31, it's crazy, because I probably had a different idea of what 31 would look like. I probably thought I was going to be married by now. Came close a couple times, thought I was going to be married, thought that I would have my house by now. Literally this time last year, I was about to close on my first condo, but it didn't work out, got out of the plans. And I'm now like trying to change my mindset to abandon what I thought life would look like right now. And so being that it's almost 31, I'm trying to make sure that I don't get into that spiral of comparison and looking at other people still in their late 20s or even middle 20s doing a lot more than I feel like I'm doing. I'm also learning that I got to give myself grace for my process, grace for the fact that my process is very different from everyone else's. And even though there may be similarities, it's still different. The timing is different. I'm not going to be exactly where another woman is or another person is. Like, it's okay. And there's that for a reason. And I think God allows contrast around us. He allows different stories to exist around us so we can see what his glory can produce. So I believe that God is very intentional about the people that he puts in your life that are in different places that you wish to be or that you thought you would be, just so you know that his glory still is real, that his glory is still evident in those around you. So if you see a lot of people around you winning a whole lot, that is God sending notice to you that he's still working, he's still moving, and that if you could just trust him for your own process, he's going to show up bigger and better for you than you could ever imagine. And so now that I'm in this season of transition where I'm now in a whole new season, a whole new like chapter that I never imagined for myself, I'm now having to unlearn what I thought things would be like. I'm now having to unlearn that I may not be a wife anytime soon, and that's okay. I'll now have to unlearn that it's okay if I'm not a mom right away. All I want to focus on is being a better present me than I was yesterday. Like last couple weeks, I've just been in a creative funk where I don't want to really produce YouTube videos. I've been sad because, again, this new transition, new chapter. So it's brought a lot of sadness upon me. And I haven't been wanting to create. I've been second guessing myself, just feeling really down, self-sabotaging myself. And a lot of us, even ladies, you know, when you were in a very depressing season, you don't want to do nothing. You just want to self-sabotage. You want to pretty much like blame yourself for why you're not doing this, why you're not doing that. And you're very hard on yourself unnecessarily. And a big theme that God is trying to introduce me to right now as I'm navigating through all of that is that a lot of what you were looking from another person to give you, whether that be love, attention, understanding, you got to get it from you first. And yes, I want to give it to you too, meaning God. God is saying, I want to give you that peace, understanding, attention, because I'm God, like I'm always here. But I also want to equip you to give it back to yourself. And so now I'm learning how all the things that I wanted other people to do for me, as far as like make me feel validated, make me feel seen, make me feel important. Like I want to give that back to myself. If there's somewhere I want to go and somebody may not want to go with me, or I may invite somebody to something and they don't want to come with me, it's okay to just say, okay, take yourself out to that. There's no rules to this. You don't have to just be around someone to feel whole, to feel at peace. Although we love our friends, we love the people that we're around, we love our partners, whoever you're with. We love that quality time with them, but at the same time, like if you don't get used to the fact that you got to be a vibe all by yourself, you're going to constantly put pressure on people to fill voids that you haven't fulfilled within yourself. And the biggest thing the beginning of this year has taught me is that I've had to deal with a lot of insecurities that I would have never known had I not been in a relationship, had I not seen how much in a relationship can teach you about your insecurities. Because your insecurities, like, that they're there when you're single and alone, but when you get in a relationship, those insecurities are highlighted like crazy. And you probably thought you were strong in areas that you really aren't strong in. And so now I'm trying to realize like my insecurities are far deeper than I thought they were. And it all stems from the lack of attention that I'm giving myself, that I've put so much mental attention and mental gymnastics and mental strain over someone giving me things, and not physical material things, but just, being all these things that clearly I haven't been to myself. Because if I was doing it for myself, I wouldn't be so sad that I can't get it from somebody else. I wouldn't be so sad that if somebody couldn't show up for me, that I was going to feel down about myself. Like it was affecting my mental health, that I couldn't get the reciprocation that I thought I was giving to the person, so. And I think a lot of us are in seasons where we want people to reciprocate the love that we give, but it's like we love so hard towards people more than we love on ourselves. And the same effort and the same energy that we're showing the people that's in our life, whether that be family, partners, boyfriend, girlfriends, best friends, coworkers, whatever it is, you're showing up for so many people, which is great, and you're loving on them, and you're making sure that they know that you're there. But you're not doing that for yourself. And if you neglect doing that for yourself, those insecurities are going to keep coming up, whether that be body image, whether that be, wanting to be celebrated, whether that be, not feeling like you're enough, not feeling like you're worthy of the call that God has put on you, needing people to cheer you on all the time, needing verbal words of affirmation from others instead of you saying those affirmations to yourself. whatever those insecurities look like, they're going to overtake you if you don't deal with them. So let's just take it step by step. As you are abandoning what you thought you would be, like once you realize, okay, now I got to move out of whatever I thought 30 would look like, 31 would look like, 29 would look like, 25 would look like, whatever age you are. Once you abandon the expectation of what you thought that age would look like, now in order to become the person, you obviously have to ask very simple questions to God, which is, where is it that you want me to go? What does it look like for me to fully be in your will and surrender my plans? How can you challenge me, or how can I be challenged to step out of my comfort zone? Lord, inspire me to build my creativity. I'm in this creative funk. Help me really understand what my purpose means to the earth. So once you ask these questions to God, I believe, because he's done it for me, that he's going to reveal very intense moments for you where you're going to be like, okay, it makes sense now. Like, I get why things had to be the way they are. And so my prayer life right now is, God, I didn't want to be in this season. I didn't want to be without this specific person. I didn't want to be going through this. This is not fun. I don't like this. I miss this person. So why is it that I'm going through these things? But I feel like God is trying to tell me, no, I needed your attention back, because you gave your all to this specific person, to, these specific things, whether that be social media, whatever we give our all to as far as our time and our focus. I wanted your focus back. I wanted your attention back on me, because if I can get your attention back on me, all of the answers that I just, professed out loud, you're going to be able to get full revelation on those answers. You're going to be able to fully get the answers you need to those questions from God. And if your focus is not on God, he's not going to fully be able to speak to you in a way that is going to make sense, or in a way that is going to bring the healing that you need, because you are trying to fill up so many things on your calendar. You're trying to allow so many people to fill up your calendar to distract you from really just being isolated in this season. I think we think isolation is a bad thing, but it's actually one of the most greatest gifts you can give yourself is isolation. And some isolation is not something we necessarily ask for. Some isolation is forced on us. Like for me, I feel like I'm going through a forced isolation where I didn't want to be, to feel this alone. Excuse my dog, y'all. He's rude. I didn't want to feel this alone, but it's like now that I'm here, there's no reason for me to, be sad about it, or be depressed, or be confused, or to navigate from a place of anxiety. The biggest thing with my isolation period is that I didn't want to be in this alone state, but I knew that it was the necessary thing for me in order to get to the next level of 2022. And I think there are levels of this year that you're not going to experience until you get into a period of isolation. And you can have isolation even within your marriage, within your own relationship. You don't have to be single to be isolated. I think we all need to find isolation, healthy isolation moments to ourselves, to cut out the noise, shut out everything that is distracting us, everyone that is distracting us, and really focus on God. What is it that you're trying to tell me? What is it that you're trying to show me? And how can you help me abandon all of these expectations that I have for, where I thought I would be. And I think honestly, social media has really messed up our heads as far as watching so many people, seeing their success stories, seeing their wins. And it's almost like we don't give ourselves grace to let time do what it needs to do. Let time do its work. And realize that every day you're getting closer to the moment you always dreamed of. You're getting closer to the day where you can really, fully get the grasp of why you had to go through all you had to go through, why you had to, date all the different type of personalities you had to date to get to that treasure, why you had to experience so much death and loss in your family in order to finally take full advantage of the mantle that was passed on to you from those who are no longer here with you. So it is a real powerful moment to have when you can just look at yourself in the mirror and say, girl, you're doing a good job. You really are that girl. You really are worth everything that you're seeing others do. You're worth that, but more, because your season is always going to look different from someone else's. Your process is going to look different from everyone else's. And you have to go at the pace that God has created for you in order for you to fully enjoy the fruits of your harvest and the fruits of your labor. You got to be able to go through your process in order to enjoy what increase looks like for you. And another way that we have to abandon, I would say, our expectations of where we thought we would be, is we have to speak affirmations that are opposite of what we feel. For me, I've been practicing, having my Post-it notes by my planner and just speaking everything opposite of what I feel inside, because I don't really feel a lot of these things, but I'm gonna speak it until I feel it. I'm gonna speak that I'm enough. I'm gonna speak that I'm worthy. I'm gonna speak that I am an overcomer. I'm gonna speak that I'm a homeowner in 2022, because that's something I've been believing God for a long time now. I'm gonna speak the fact that I'm debt free. I'm gonna speak the fact that I love everything about me, even my flaws. I'm gonna speak that I'm worthy of a love that is easy, that is fresh, that I don't have to beg for anything from it. It's just gonna flow naturally. I'm gonna speak that I'm deserving of a love that only comes from Christ, because that person first loved Christ. I'm gonna speak that I deserve to fully be in this season of increase that I'm watching others be in. So everything opposite of what you're going through right now, speak over it. Everything opposite. And then the beauty about being a faith person is putting a stamp and a demand on what it is that you're believing. So if there's a specific date that you're looking to get that job offer, or you're looking to get that business deal, or you're looking to get that miracle, that healing, put a date on it. It's nothing wrong with that. To say, hey, by this month, this is what I'm believing God for. And God loves bold faith. He loves faith that says, yeah, it may not, you may not have any evidence of this right now, but the fact that you are speaking opposite of what's going on, it's a beautiful thing. So the least you can do is just fully step into your greatness. You can't sleep on your greatness. You may not feel great at every moment, but you can't sleep on it. Because if you sleep on it, you're going to miss what God is trying to show you in this season. And that's what I'm dealing with. So it's just so many emotions. I think my biggest thing is I got to be careful of what I listen to, what I watch. Because sometimes what you watch, what you listen to, whether that be love shows or certain music that brings up those emotions of pain, of hurt, it just has you not in a good place. And for the past few weeks, I've been self-sabotaging a lot. I've been just in a really sad funk. And I put so much value over the hurt that I've been feeling, about this specific situation. And it's been really difficult, because I didn't imagine this, how 2022 would start for me. I didn't imagine it was going to be like this. I had a different hope for it. But I believe that even what you don't imagine can still bless your life. It can still change the trajectory of your life. And a lot of us, we have an idea, we have a vision of what we think the future is going to be like, which is fine to have. But we got to be okay if plans change, if things get derailed, if some things get sorted around. That's perfectly normal to have things change. Because when you're in God's will, whatever plan that you, even if it was a short-term plan that you had for yourself, get used to it getting shaken up or it just fully getting deleted off the roster when you're in God's will. Because God is going to always change something up on you when you're in his will. So I hope that this blessed you. I hope that you can analyze every pressure that you put on yourself, being 30, being in the middle of your 30s, being in your 40s, being in your late 20s, whatever stage of life that you're in, whatever pressures that you put on yourself, just let them go and be fully okay with the girl, with the man that is looking in the mirror. Be okay with the fact that you're not going to have it all together. You're not meant to have it all together. I believe letting go is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. Getting yourself out of something that no longer serves you, moving on from something that no longer serves where you're going is a beautiful, bold, scary thing. And when you can just embrace, and I'm talking to myself right now, when you can embrace that it's a beautiful thing, God is fully going to keep changing how you think and your mindset through things. And he's going to give you more strength. Like, God renews our strength each and every day. And that's the beauty of him, is that he doesn't want to just let your strength weaken and he doesn't restore it. He's a restoring, father. He loves to restore his children. He loves to make sure that we feel safe, regardless if things around us don't look very good or don't look promising. And I also believe that don't give so much power to the people who used to be or are still in your life. Because when you give so much power to people and they start to switch up on you, it's like you literally don't really know how to exist as a person, as an individual, when their emotions or their actions start to change. You don't know what to do, because you're like, you put so much power and value over this person loving you, caring about you, showing up for you. So if that shifts or changes, or if they go through something where they can't give you that same energy anymore, you got to be able to live with who you are as an individual first, because people are going to fail you constantly, no matter who they are. It could be your husband, your wife, your grandma, your auntie, your sister, your brother, your mother. And them failing you doesn't mean that they purposely meant to fail you, but there's just people are going to fail you. So expect, even though we may have grace ready to give them when they fail us, we got to have that same grace to give to ourselves, so that way we can be able to hold on just in case this person doesn't stick around. I believe that every time you abandon what you thought something would be, and you just walk into the answered prayers that God has set before you, you're going to be so much happier that you didn't stay stuck to a narrative or a vision that God never intended for you. Like, there are visions that we have, and there's an idea that we have of ourselves, of us and another person, that God really never had for us. And we don't know how to let that vision go because it felt good for so long. It had great moments, it seemed right for so long. So when it gets shaken up and it doesn't work out, you got to be able to be okay with the fact that that's God telling you, that wasn't my plan for you. I know you had great moments. I know you enjoyed yourself. I know you had some good laughs with that person or doing that thing. But now it's time for where I'm really trying to take you. Now that we got that out the way, it's time for me to show up the way I've been trying to, because that was taking your attention for way too long. Just wait. So cheers to a great soul chat. Again, I hope that this episode blessed you. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at More Motivation, MOORER Motivation. Tell a friend to tell a friend that this soul chat is what you need to be tapping into. Like, I know you know somebody who needs this word, who needs this encouragement, who feels like they're in a self-sabotage season right now. They need to just get a little bit of encouragement. They need to feel like somebody knows what they're going through. Because believe me, I know what you're going through, sis. Bro, I know what you're going through. I know what you're feeling. And I know you may not like the season you're in right now. But man, when you get on the other side of that thing, you're going to be so thankful that you stuck it out, that you didn't give up. And again, I come against the spirit of suicide. I believe that our beautiful men and women are going to live and not die. And I just come against that spirit because the devil is literally trying to take over the minds of beautiful people who have so much purpose and life inside of them. And he's trying to come into their mind and tell them something opposite of what God thinks of them. So I want to tell you right now, if you even possibly thought of taking your own life, just know that I know that you're important, you're special, that this world wouldn't be where it is without you. It needs you. The people around you need you. Do not give up. There's so much more life for you to see. Your story is not over. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care how long it's been hurting. When you get on the other side of it, you're going to be so grateful you didn't give up. So please don't give up. Please. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Bye, guys.